she's saying you're buying a money pit,
Yeah,
you know,
That's
but
what-
we're convinced we're not.
Yeah,
that's what she thinks.
Yeah.
Why are you doing that? Why are we paying for a money pit?
And we don't wanna buy a money pit,
No,
you know,
you
but
don't.
we also see the value, there's intangibles if that gets developed.
Correct.
You know, that you can't really put a dollar sign on
You
it.
cannot.
There'll be benefits to the community.
Okay, all right.
words are easy to write, but she's not willing to come in here and listen.
Well, we'll get some good information out there. I'll work with Norma.
Well, in the next 50 years, we'll get it all back in property taxes, so
Correct.
we just gotta be patient.
Yeah, and lots of times you don't get your money back, so this is a big.
Return on investment.
Yeah, I'll send you those numbers too.
Okay.
So our next step actually with Snowy Mountain is to do a kickoff meeting with Tetra Tech, Snowy Mountain, and us just to sort of say, okay, here's the process, this is what we're gonna do. And I asked her, I did follow up Monday and I keep trying to get our project on the top of the
Okay.
pile. So, she's gonna move on that.
And is she gonna set the agenda? Okay,
Yeah, this is, hazmat cleanup is really Snowy Mountain's thing.
gotcha,
Like,
gotcha.
that's
And
her
that makes sense to me,
decision.
it's just that, you know, and so far we've had, you know, the Brownsfield, EPA, we've had tremendous
They've been
support.
wonderful,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I expect that to be a positive discussion.
Yeah. And I think, Roger, it's wonderful that we've had this relationship with Roger, cause he's so responsive, and I think he'll help us move this fast, cause,
Well, and he has
we
a
don't wanna-
can-do attitude.
yeah,
He's not intimidated by any of this,
Yeah.
so it's sort of reassuring, you know.
yeah.
And he's an expert, he's an industrial hygienist and got all kinds of accolades.
Okay, the historic documents that were in the building, I took, Gary Thomas is on the museum board, and he asked, I said, well, how should we, can we just present this idea to the museum and see, what the state archivist recommended and see what so he goes, oh, I think we can take those, and then when he saw the quantity of them, he's like, how are we gonna organize them and archive them, and
Mhm.
So-
There's limited storage.
right, so I'm gonna go to the museum board meeting, the next one, this recent one was canceled. And just see if they want that washer and see if
Okay?
they want those documents and let them make a decision as a board. And if they say no, then, we'll just go to the archivist and see if he'll come get them. I have them boxed up. I was in there with Gary anyway, and I was waiting on the, Tetra Tech guy, so I just boxed them up, and
Okay.
You're talking
Uh-huh.
about the documents?
that
Those
safe
documents are.
that had the county attorney
Yeah.
documents?
Yeah.
And then there's some that I left in there, I was gonna see what the museum and the archivist said, they're just covered in, like you pick up a piece of paper and it's just
See, I'd have
blown
been,
with dust.
kind of careful,
Well, I didn't pick those
yeah,
up.
yeah, because of the dust aspect.
Yeah, and I'm so allergic to dust, so, I was gonna see, I don't know if anybody would wanna handle those, cause I don't know
Well,
if
that's the
you
other
can clean
thing
up
too, though,
paper.
that with Tetra Tech, that would be something they would test.
That's
before
what I
it went out.
thought,
They-
yeah.
And it may be that the dust does not have asbestos or anything on it.
Right.
Because maybe
Yeah.
there wasn't anywhere near it may be a non-issue, but
Right.
we need an expert to say, that's okay.
So somebody just took them and they were there's some in there just all over the floor, and I
yeah.
just left those. And I thought we'd let Tetra Tech guide us
A
there.
lot of your criminal record is
I imagine.
Yeah, it's probably on the
Mine too.
floor in the building.
with asbestos dust.
I better go through them.
Okay, the RFQ with the developers. So before I left for vacation on the 30th, I amended that and I sent it out. I think you guys looked at it.
Yep, yep.
And I emailed it to all three developers. I did have that fella that has been, what's his name, John Edwards, that nobody knows, that seems to be from Roundup, but nobody knows him. He did sort of back out. He said, I'm really not interested, thank you for keeping me informed, but this is sort of beyond my scale. But I did send them to Bill Tees and Monarch. And John Monarch is really interested, so I did send them there, and our deadline got changed to May the 1st. So the proposals will be due back May the 1st, and then we'll grade those and,
And we saw High Plains' appreciation, you know, from Randy, that
Yes.
that'll work for them, they're happy, they thank
Yes.
us for that.
So right now, as far as I know, we only have 2 developers that are seriously interested, and it's John Monarch and High Plains. I don't know if y'all wanna, so I was thinking we needed to, this actually been on my list for a while, do like a press release to thank all of our grantors. And maybe this would be a good thing to combine with what
I
Norma's
think so.
saying here,
A little more
so,
information, so a little bit of a
Yes,
PR communication,
okay,
I think that'd be a good idea.
okay.
and you know, not to beat it to death, but maybe you go on the radio too, maybe it can be, we can pluck some, cherry pick whatever you got, and if we go on the radio and you can
Okay.
I
you
would
know,
agree
say, hey,
with
just to
that.
put everybody, you know, so they know what's happening.
So when are y'all on the radio next?
Mitigate the
Wednesday?
damage.
Oh, every Wednesday y'all go?
Not
Well,
every Wednesday,
we
but
need- we
can
kinda do it.
choose.
Maybe, when was the last time? A couple weeks ago?
It's been, yeah. I wonder if we should do it,
Cause Wednesday might be a little soon for you to get something
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, let's let the newspaper article get out.
yeah.
Well,
And then
still,
we-
yeah,
we
go
would-
ahead.
We can do it on a Wednesday after we go to Helena and do our legislative reviews, cause we could, cause we'll have our half hour and discussing the Weir building may be just a 15-minute deal and then we'll have some more topics after that.
When's your Helena?
It is from the 24th to the 27th,
So it would be, let me see.
so it'd be a March time, first week in March maybe?
Yeah, it would be the 5th of March maybe.
Okay, I'm available. And that would be after we looked at the proposals for the contractors.
Yeah, that'd
So
be
that'd be a neat
helpful,
thing to
too.
share with the community on the radio. Would you want, do we wanna go ahead and do the press release for next week then?
If you can get it ready, you know, it's how soon you can get it, but, I don't,
I think so, because we can't just let that fester.
yeah, that'll fester a little.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, about Weir. So we'll plan on, March 5th for the radio. What time do y'all usually do that?
7:30.
7:30?
7:30, and you can bring donuts.
Okay.
I'm kidding.
Fresh
We can be eating donuts as we're talking on the radio.
Yeah, easily.
That's always fun to go talk to those guys.
It is.
They've
They
been
have a
very
way of
good.
just
They've,
keeping the conversation,
Yes, they're easy to talk
Awfully
to.
good.
yeah.
Okay, billing. Now that Chris is gone, which I'm really sad
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
So easy to work with. Bondi and Cheryl told me that I submit all the invoices through them.
Yeah, you'll do the same thing,
Okay,
except they'll be the ones that review them, but you'll still sign them, and you'll still code them, right? And,
Well, I hadn't been doing the claim forms, Chris has been doing them, but I talked to Bondi about it and she said, I know the project number and the, whatever the
the
first,
funding code.
yeah, I know that, but I don't know the other two and she said she'd do that.
Yeah,
for
we
me.
can figure it out, we can,
Well, I just don't, I don't wanna get educated about something that somebody else already knows. And they're willing
that's
to do it.
absolutely fine, but the
Yeah.
bottom line though is that you're authorizing the payment, cause you
Yes,
see it's within the scope of the
Yes.
agreements.
I don't wanna make any boo-boos on the financial part
And
for the
What the
county.
hell? Teresa said this goes to federal.
Yeah, Teresa said this architectural
This
thing is
goes
an
to the CARES
engineering
Act.
thing, and she's the wrong code, and I'll let the experts do
My
it.
attorney's account.
Okay, Ben, have you gotten the, what is it called, the DocuSign from the Cold Board yet?
No.
Okay, you're the first person, as soon as
Okay.
it comes to you, you sign it, it goes to you, and then it'll go to Cheryl.
Okay.
But you're our first line of defense, and it should
Okay.
say DocuSign. And they told me that it was being administered or routed through the Cold Board administration on the 27th of January. So usually takes them about a couple of weeks to get the contract out and sent out to the county. So I'd say it's gonna be coming sometime soon.
Now, Teresa, you've been managing these grants, and we've already got some. Have you been, we just discovered, we had a process, because we got a big grant from Busy Bee. And we're supposed to do a resolution that acknowledges that we're receiving the grant.
Oh, we
and-
haven't
and
done
These
that,
are the codes that it gets charged to.
right?
And this is the grant amount. And so we might wanna circle back, just
Okay.
for transparency, and just getting it, making sure everything's straight. We had such an issue with these big grants that we had, like with the airport and stuff, that it's like we need to keep it straight.
Okay, I'll get those together with Bonnie. Because I think they'll be, I don't, so
And that's what made me think
would
this
we
cold
as a
board
sub,
thing,
would we do a resolution if we're a sub-grantee, like the Montana Main Street Program grant we did?
well, we would, anything that we're bringing into the coffers, like the Busy Bee, we're a sub-grantee.
Okay,
I think I'm right on that.
well, is that after you get the contract, or once you get the award?
Ideally, it's the award, you know, you get an award letter and you say, okay, well, it depends on when you wanna do it. But definitely, once you got an award,
Okay,
you're gonna wanna document, we're gonna accept this grant, and this is how we're gonna fund, where the funds are going.
okay, I'll get a template from Bonnie and get those
Yeah.
drafted, or work with her on it. Okay,
And I can help too, if I just know which ones we got, cause I would love to, just make sure we know.
certain, was the Cold War Signal Peak Community Foundation and, the Montana Main Street Program.
And those things really work good, but we don't have an accounts receivable process when we send invoices or anything. So, we got to thinking, some people owe us money, we're expecting revenue, but we have no way of knowing other than department heads, which is a good thing, so we should receive that money. Or,
Right.
you know,
And I'm really I'm
I know you
nitpicky
do.
about that, cause, the first project I did with the hospital, like, there was not, the hospital didn't have that in place, cause they
Yeah.
hadn't gotten many grants. And we actually finished a project and they never got the grant funds, and I was like, where's the grant, you know, so.
yeah, somebody's
I
gotta
put a
raise the
double
issue.
check in place, so we have a summary sheet that I can send you, that, I worked with Chris, it's my summary sheet that I developed with the hospital, that shows all the income, and you can click on the row, the line item, and it'll take you to the check, your reimbursement check, or your
Beautiful.
grant check, so,
I think you showed us that once before.
Okay.
With
But let's
hyperlinks.
give it to us again,
Okay.
what I did with it.
well, we haven't received funds yet, except this week, so it sounds like Monday, that was my next question. Monday, we got so our first reimbursement request for the Main Street program was for the second invoice for the temporary roof on the building. We couldn't do the first one because we got the grant. Anyway, we couldn't do the first payment because it didn't meet the deadline, the award date of the grant. So we submitted that, and the city did receive the funds from the Main Street program like, 2 or 3 weeks ago, but their check request to pay the county, to reimburse the county takes a couple of weeks.
Okay.
The city's process. So Cheryl just got it, or Bonnie told me Cheryl got it, and so we need to find out where those funds go.
Yes,
And
so
how
this is
we
what a
earmark-
resolution does, it says, revenue will go to this
Okay.
funding code, this account number, expenses go to this account number, it's all the same funding code, but, you know, so the revenue would come into the federal mineral royalties fund.
Okay, so you're putting it back.
Yeah, so we're putting,
Yeah.
because we've identified it with the project number,
Right.
Anyway, we'll do that, we'll make
Okay.
sure that we,
Yeah,
it's
and
time
then-
for us to maybe get our act together with codes and whatnot for you.
Okay. Well, that was a question that I had especially when we did the sub-grant thing, because there's that extra layer with the city, when we were a sub-recipient. So, if we can, yeah, we can just
Well,
figure
what
out
I
that
learned-
process.
with putting together this one for the Busy Bee buyout, is, the bar account, the whole structure of what you code things to has significant meaning. And there's federal and state grants, and, so you gotta be kind of careful what you do, and then it's in, like, any federal money goes to 2900 series, funding code.
Okay,
So anyway, not to bog it down in that, but there's a little bit of thought that needs to go into it.
but in the resolution, we need to put the account,
Yep, we'll actually put
The name of the account?
amount, the reference agreement or reference, and then we put the revenue accounts, the funding code, the revenue accounts, the expenditure code accounts, and the object accounts, which takes it one level deeper, and the project number.
okay,
And we'll assign a project number, well, we already have a project number for the week. So,
well, if you'll help me be sure
You bet,
everything,
yep.
I'll work with Bonnie to get it started, then I'll send it to you, and then
Yep.
maybe you could help me be sure that all those
Yeah.
items are in there. Okay, did that,
I'm glad you're here to hear how this is going. And
it's a
especially
lot.
Bob talking about how we're tracking those funds. When you have taxpayers and people meeting you on the street and saying, why in the hell are those damn commissioners buying? Here they've done all this work at the fairgrounds, we can't follow it. They're doing the work at the Weir building. Where we're not making any sense of this. All you have to do is say, look, they've had public meetings, they've got minutes, you can follow all of this stuff. You
I'll
can
mention
have
that.
all of your questions answered. So just simply complaining to me is, it's
Well,
very weak.
yeah, let me just say that her letters to the editor are
Well, but
always
there's
amusing.
that's one person, but then there's other people too who
There's
say.
many people.
yeah, we've had some people.
But they
tell
don't
us
follow,
thought this was
they
not
do
good.
not follow the detail that we go through in order to do these projects.
Well,
We're not running around trying to buy things up and.
no, you're not. You have
No.
due diligence, and you have rules, and you have regulations, and you follow.
Same way with the FEMA Busy Bee project, that's another issue altogether. We
Right.
can understand, it looks like we're just throwing money away and buying things,
No,
but that's not what we're doing.
you're taking
Yeah,
care of.
normally we do, but we're not doing it.
If we
I don't
can.
know
We
what you're
used to,
doing,
but
but I know that.
We're not getting our 4% anymore.
Yeah.
Getting it off the top. Yeah,
Okay, so,
Take care.
Let's,
sorry guys, I have a couple more things I want
Keep
to try to
going.
get to. So on your point though, like RCP is in complete support of this project.
You're
But
right.
yesterday's RCP meeting, I tried to summarize everything we've done just since October, since our last RCP meeting. And I was just like, just know we're making great progress and here's a couple of highlights and we've done a lot of work.
well,
so-
remember you sent the timeline, you've been keeping track?
Yes,
I was, I've got this Visio, it's kind of like a PowerPoint, but it's where it's got these timelines where you can put little, they did this, and I'm like, this is unbelievable how, in such a short compressed time, there's a lot, but that's important to maintain, you're keeping those records because that really would have answered your question, how long,
Right.
well, this is, and then it'll show you all the hurdles we've overcome,
mhm.
Correct. Yeah.
so.
Yeah, it's a big hurdle.
It's a lot. So, I wanted to talk to y'all about Johnny's carpet. So, I copied y'all in that email this week where I reached out to him. I have followed up with him probably 6 times since Thanksgiving to try and get a date with him. And, it's an awful time to move stuff with the snow and stuff. But, I didn't know legally what we need to do with cleanup and do we need, like he said, does this mean my carpet, I don't know if y'all saw that email chain, but he said, does this mean my carpet's contaminated? And I'm like, well, if that ceiling's flaking and it could have lead-based paint on it. So I don't know if we wanna
So
I'm
he's
not-
thinking that through as to what to do with the carpet.
Yeah, so, do we?
I
do
think,
we-
I think the carpet gets put in the whole bucket of stuff that gets screened
Put
and
out there.
tested during the abatement.
So
Because
just,
we gotta get it out of the way for the, do we have to get it out of the way for the structural people?
I don't,
John wants it, that's for sure.
Well,
He
he
wants
wants it,
it.
but I don't wanna give it to him if it's contaminated.
but it is in the area that is gonna be, can be cleaned before the leveling and shoring work's done. So maybe hopefully, if Snowy Mountain can get us into the
That's- yeah.
abatement cleanup process quickly,
Mhm.
they could get in there, they could clean up all this furniture and everything that's in the safe part of the building, the safe part of the building. And then, that's what I was thinking, is maybe we should tell Johnny, let us vacuum off the carpet and get the,
They may not need to do anything, they might just look at it, they might random sample test it and say, well, this is okay. But I do think that it needs to be treated like anything else in the building that's potentially contaminated. And
okay,
that's part of our Brownsfield, we're gonna pay half of that, but I just think there's a huge liability if you let him go in there and take that carpet.
okay, so is that okay with everybody?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
So just say we're gonna get you that carpet, but let's wait and have the guys come in and vacuum it off, or tell us it's safe to take.
And then tell him there's gonna be a fee associated with it.
No, you can tell me that, Bob.
It'll be under market value though, you can please take off of that.
Okay, well, he'll love that, actually, that we don't, like, we don't need it out
Well, then he'll
tomorrow.
know it's, there won't be any question. But I doubt it. I don't think flaking lead is as much as a hazard as the asbestos. So I think that carpet you might even get a judgment call from Tetra Tech that, no, just let him go take it. But still, I think it's gotta be them telling us.
Let's let them, Tetra Tech,
Make
take
that
an
assessment.
inspection of it, and then we'll go from there. So we-
Okay, I'll call
And you're right,
Johnny.
he's in no hurry to move it.
No,
He's not, and if we give him a little bit more time, I
He
think
won't mind at all.
he won't.
No.
Okay,
Unless he needs some of it. He'll
How
have
long has
sneak
it been in the basement, or
it's just on the first floor there.
how long has it been
Getting
there?
that from the commissioners.
I don't know.
30, 40
As long
years?
as he-
Pretty stingy.
I don't think so, I think he's been buying it, storing stuff there, and
Cause he's
He's been
got a
doing
active
carpeting
flooring
work.
company.
it's in it's in good shape.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's rolled up and looks brand new,
Yeah,
but
it is.
it's,
You can-
that is the ceiling, those are those antique ceiling tiles
Oh,
that they don't know yet whether it's the tile that triggered lead or if it's the paint that's lead based. So there is a lot of flaking on those tiles, so.
It could be just a vacuum real quick.
The other two things that are in there that I think one of his kids want is the pool, there's two pool
Yeah,
tables
there's
in
two
there.
pool tables in there.
So,
There's a lot of nice
That's
old
gonna be a
tricycles in there.
that's right.
Oh, bicycles will be cool.
the pool table showed up when we started talking about buying that thing.
Yeah.
Okay, last thing is the Roundup
I'm
Breach
decorating.
project. Have y'all had anybody reach out to you about the Bear Cons recreation area
Not
or
lately.
anything? Okay.
We
Is that-
We need to move
I know.
on.
Is that Kansas City doing a feasibility? Remember, they did this feasibility and they got somehow sidetracked, but then Snowy Mountain took it on. And I think that's Roundup Reach, right?
Yes.
So what are they doing?
So, last I heard, Scott Graham,
Yeah,
yes. So he's working for some other organization, I don't know who.
yeah, non-profit.
Yeah, but evidently he has time that he could
Yeah.
work on, so he's trying to get a contract, like a independent contractor's contract with Snowy Mountain to try and, cause he's, he worked with the abandoned mines, AMLA, whatever they are, abandoned
Recovery.
mines.
Right.
And they're the ones that help the county clean up the dirt down there in the Bear Hollows. So, he's aware of all the funding. This is true, so there's so much grant money right now, and if we don't take advantage of it, Roundup's gonna miss it. And he loves Roundup, and he wants to see this. So anyway, he put in a proposal to Snowy Mountain to help do something.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what, but if it's okay with y'all, I'd like to move, just as a volunteer.
Now, let me tell you something else people are mad about. They say that grant money is taking it away from the taxpayers. It's all taxpayer money, and all the grants are taxpayer money.
Wait a minute.
So how do you rebut
It's not
that?
all taxpayer.
I know that.
If we don't use that
If you don't use it,
grant
it's going to
funding
someone else.
in this community, someone else will use it and you will still pay for it.
Yes,
Exactly.
it'll probably go to Yellowstone County.
So we might as well get some return on
That's
it.
what I told them. I said, the state has all this money and they're giving it away. Why don't we want some of it?
Now, if you want to
Because
be
you're gonna pay
purist,
for it. You're gonna not have any benefit from it and you're gonna pay for it anyway.
and the other thing too is, we couldn't do we could only do most of this we couldn't even think about doing
No,
without grant money.
why not?
And that's how the whole government
Works.
is designed.
Well, anyway, that's a big complaint too.
Well,
Well, that
It's
was,
foolish.
and that is my response,
Sure,
is that when you pay your federal tax dollars and state, they develop grant programs to help fund things that, municipalities can't afford. So
Guess where it's
either
going?
our community misses out, or we take advantage of that
They'll be
and
going to
help
California.
intentionally improve our community. That's what I always tell people when we hear that really misinformed
Misinformed.
information
also,
about being
our-
against grants.
Our state has a ton of tourism, which brings billions of dollars in, and that also pays for grants that they give.
And you brought up the Bear Collins, let's not lose sight of that, whatever we can do to keep momentum on that, because there's a lot of money sitting out
we
there.
got
It's on the agenda for old business.
Yeah, it's right
It
there,
is.
isn't it? Right
It
in front
is,
of
it's
us.
right there.
Well, maybe I'll just send a quick email to Tanya separately, just as RCP's.
And maybe it's kinda like what we've had to do, I hate to say this, but we had to do this with Homes on the Range, and maybe we set up a couple of MS Teams meetings to say, where are we at with this, who's doing what, and who's, and to where it can kind of get its own momentum going. Because that's what we had to do with, Homes on the Range was going nowhere. And we finally,
Yeah.
who's gonna do what? And we got it moving, and now it's
Making progress.
doing excellent. And so I think this Bear Collins, there's so much potential there that it's,
I talked to Scott, he even goes to them watershed meetings, which they were supposed to have one yesterday, but they canceled it. He doesn't always go, but he sometimes shows up. Now, John Babcock, who took Scott's place, he goes to them. And the last time I talked to him, he said, if it even smell like coal, there's so much money out there, he said. I said, even if
Okay.
you use briquettes in your fire, in your barbecue, you'll get some coal money.
Okay, I'll just try and maybe start a little conversation with Snowy Mountain, because I think it's on
Scott and
them.
I were talking about historical markers down there, which is the first thing we could do, is put up a sign saying that was the old Bear Collins Prescott mine area, and it's been recovered, a little, just like the kiosk down there, we could have a little. And he said, yeah, there's lots of money for that, he knows the people that do them signs, but that's as far as we got.
Okay, well, I'll try and get the conversation started
We were
again.
thinking about moving that vault toilet there.
Yeah,
Remember that
we
whole
actually
time?
are thinking about moving that down to.
Instead of having a branch.
Oh, that thing.
I use the restroom, I smell money.
Because they're gonna need a bathroom over there.
Yeah, they're gonna need
And
it.
we got
Okay,
one.
we'll get
Put it
the
up there by
We
that
got it
concrete,
cheap.
out of this floodplain.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Good to see y'all again.
Stay in touch.
All right, and I'll email you.
I'll look for it.
I'll keep an eye out for that. I don't recall having seen it.
Well,
And
maybe if we don't hear from them by next week, I'll just follow up with her and
Okay.
say, it's been
Sounds
3
good.
weeks. Where
and
are
if for some reason I got it and I missed it, shoot me a message, let me know. But I don't think I did. Usually I review those things and I try and do that electronic signature on the same day I get them.
Okay. Well, lots of times they go to Spain, like in the past, I think when,
And so, Mr. Cooley, how are you?
A half of one,
Half one.
come on.
I have
Oh,
pretty
sitting in
good
office all day, I'm getting
programs
fat.
on this.
Yeah. So I think it's gone to Spain.
Well, you told me that one time at the Grand wasn't wrong. You gotta watch what you eat if you're not out doing more stuff.
You,
You're
When
far
Adam
from it.
first came on, it went
Sneaks
to
up on you,
spam
though.
for him.
Hmm?
And he-
Sneaks up on you, though.
She said, yeah, it got sent.